We are back in the kitchen with Lucy from Greer's. It is another Greer's Wednesday here on Studio 10.
Yes.
Great to see you as always.
Thank you. You too.
Got some of my favorite stuff out today.
I know. Joe walked up and said, that looks good.
Yes.
And today we're making a Parmesan crusted chicken. So we're going to pound out our chicken breasts to make them tender and cook evenly. And we're going to coat them in a really yummy mixture. So this is a really good, quick dish and kind of something different to do with your chicken.
Let me tell you what I like.
What?
I like the fact that you're going to pound them out because I always like the thinner chicken breast, but I never actually take the time to pound it out myself.
Yep.
I should do that more often.
I know, and I really don't do it either. And often when you're shopping for chicken, the chicken breasts are so huge lately. So I've really just been into this chicken that we're selling at Greer's, the Springer Mountain Farms chicken, and it's no antibiotics, and they are raised on a veggie diet, and look how much smaller they are.
Right, yeah.
So I really have been enjoying
portion.
these, and you know, sometimes chicken breasts, I mean, you know, they're kind of different. Sometimes they're super big on, you know, the side that has the bigger part of the breast and then thinner on the other. And so it's hard to cook them evenly.
Right.
And so one thing that I like about pounding out the chicken is that it is going to do a couple of things for us. It's going to tenderize it because, you know, sometimes when we cook our chicken, it dries out.
Right.
So it's going to tenderize it and help us retain the moisture in there, as well as cook it evenly, like I said. So when the whole thing is all the, you know, the same width, then the whole thing will cook evenly. So you can pound out chicken a lot of different ways. If you want to wrestle with your plastic wrap, and if you're like a plastic wrap pro, you know those people that just like tear it off so easily, you can definitely put these between two pieces of plastic wrap. But I just like to grab a plastic storage bag, and you can use a meat mallet. I just have one of these here. You want to know the only reason I have this?
Why is that?
Last time I pounded out something on the show, which I don't even know when it was probably a year ago. I think I didn't have one, and so my friend Kathy saw it, and she gave me one of these. So thank you, Kathy.
Appreciate you helping out.
Yes. So if you have one of these, use it. If you don't, you can use a skillet, you know, heavy skillet or whatever. So anyway, when you start pounding out your chicken breasts, and depending on obviously on how big they are, you want to go to about 1/4 of an inch thick, and you kind of want to just press like outwards a little bit as you go. And also, if your chicken breasts are really, really thick, what you can do, and what I do a lot of times, is just slice them lengthwise down the middle to make it, and then you're stretching your dollar, and then depending on how big they are, then you could go with it, you know, a little bit further. So anyway, I'll kind of finish that over the break, but you just, you know, pound it out until it's your desired, and I do both sides, until it's your desired width.
Sounds good. So we're going to do that.
Yep, I'll finish that.
Okay.
And what I can just speak about what we're going to do next. So we're going to do a 3-step breading process. So we're going to do flour, egg, and then we're going to make a really yummy Panko Parmesan crust that we're going to coat these with.
Ooh-wee!
I know.
I'm excited.
I know.
Come back, stick with us more from Greer's. Also, we're going to be talking about Mardi Gras is here at the local grocery store. So we'll tell you all about that coming up. Back with Lucy from Greer's, working on something that I am going to make.
Good.
Yes, it is Panko Parmesan crusted chicken.
Yum.
Yes, yum.
And chicken is one of those things, like taco and spaghetti, that a lot of people eat every week. And so it's kind of nice to do something different with it. And what we've already done is we've taken 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and we put them in a Ziploc bag and used our meat mallet to just kind of pound them out a little bit so that they're even. They're about 1/4 of an inch thick, and we mentioned that that's going to help the chicken stay moist when we cook it and really kind of tenderize it.
Plus, your biceps got to work out.
Oh yeah. Last night when I was working on one, Spiro was like, "What are you taking your aggression out on in there?"
And your triceps. triceps, I guess.
So you can take out aggression, you can get a little workout in. So what we're gonna do now is just season them up with a little bit of salt and pepper and get started on our breading process. So as you can see what I've already done, I have flour on one plate, I have a couple eggs in the middle here, and then we are going to mix up our topping.
Sounds good.
So that's gonna be the best part. So I started with 2/3 cup of Panko breadcrumbs, and those are so readily available right now. I mean, look, we even have them in our private label brand. They're with all the other breadcrumbs. They're kind of Japanese style breadcrumbs, so they're super crispy and light and airy, but this recipe will work just the same exact way if you wanted to use plain regular breadcrumbs. So 2/3 cup of that and 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese, and I just use, as you can see, you know, the regular green top that everybody has. If you wanted to grate your own, go for it. And then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I got this this spice in the store, and it's chipotle chili pepper, and so it has a little bit of smokiness, you know, and a little bit of heat. If you didn't have this, you could definitely use cayenne pepper if you had it, and
paprika maybe. Yep,
you could use regular paprika, or if you had smoked paprika, that's really good. So it's going to give us, you know, just a little bit of a different flavor in there.
I like this.
I know. Well, really, I thought I was buying cayenne pepper one time, and then I was like, oh, that's not cayenne pepper, and I was like, whoa, this is some pretty cool stuff. So I like that. And if you've cooked with chipotles and adobo sauce, you know, the little can that has that, it has a really smoky, spicy flavor, so it's good. All right, so we're gonna do these on the stovetop, and we're gonna cook them in a combination of olive oil and butter. And whenever you're cooking with butter kind of at a high heat, we're gonna be medium high. You gotta watch out because it can burn really easily. So that's why we wanna do a combo with the oil and the butter, so that way we have a little bit of a flavor from the butter, but we also have this olive oil in here that has a higher smoking temp. So we're just going to use a skillet, and if you didn't have a big skillet this size, or just depending on how many you're going to cook, you could, you know, do them one at a time if you only had a smaller skillet, because we're going to finish cooking them in the oven. So we're just going to get them nicely brown on each side and then finish them in the oven. So I'm going to get our heat going and our butter in our pan, and then we'll get one in there.
All right, sounds good. Also still to come, telling you about Mardi Gras at Greer's. We'll be back in just a second.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe.
Back to finish things up with Lucy from Greer's in our kitchen, making something that, as I said before, I will make. Tell us what we're working on.
We are working on our Panko Parmesan chicken, and we're ready to bread it and get it in the pan.
Awesome.
So we have our boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and then I pounded them out and got salt and pepper on here, and now I have just plain flour down on this plate, and I'm going to coat it in the flour.
Step one.
Step one, yes, step one. Just, you know, all sides, and kind of shake it off a little. And
like Taylor Swift?
Yeah, that's right. Not as cool as her, but we'll try. And I have a couple eggs, and of course, depending on how many chicken breasts you're going to do, you know, you might need more, but this is just 2 right here. I just whisked it up, and then we're going to put it in our yummy Panko Parmesan topping. We added some garlic powder and oregano and our chipotle chili powder that we talked about, and a little bit of salt, and we just, again, coat it all around because you want the yummy breading on all sides. And we have our olive oil and butter in this pan over medium-high heat. Put it up a little. Will you hit 8 for me?
I will.
So medium-high heat, and then what we're going to do is, and you got to watch it because, like I said, you know, the Parmesan cheese and the Panko and the butter, it can burn easily, so you just want to keep an eye on it, but we will just want to cook it for 1 to 3 minutes on each side just to let it get nice and brown like that, and then we're going to finish it in the oven.
All right, sounds good. We showed you the finished product at the start of the segment. Take a look at that shot again. We've got such a great shot, Lucy. Check that out.
Oh,
that
yummy.
looks so delicious in that shot. All right, so we've been talking about that we are going to tease Mardi Gras at Greer's. You guys have a lot coming up, and one of the big things everyone talks about is already in the stores. Tell us what it is.
Yes, king cakes.
Whoop,
so we are so excited to be back in Mardi Gras, and our king cakes are out there. Everybody really loves our king cakes, and actually there's going to be a, have you heard about it yet? The king cake
cook-off?
Yeah.
Yeah, or taste-off or whatever.
Taste-off, yeah, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of my friends are putting that on. Mandy and her husband and Shayna, Jordan, and a lot of them are putting on this awesome event. So we're going to have our king cakes there, and it's coming up in February. So I know we'll talk a lot more about that, and I'm sure they'll be on the show. But so Mardi Gras is coming. It was funny because, you know, Mardi Gras is kind of late this year.
Right.
But people are like, when are the king cakes coming? So I had to put a little bit of a rush on our king cakes so everybody would, you know, get them a little bit sooner. Everybody wanted them sooner than I thought. So as you can see, we are just gonna put that one in there, and I can tell right now it's not yet browned on the first side, but we'll flip it. When it's brown on the first side, let it cook for another minute, and then what we're going to do is pop it in the oven, 350 for about 10 minutes, and it's going to be delicious and juicy, and you can, you know, of course, just serve a side with it or put that over a salad or whatever.
So good, y'all. Can't wait to make this at home for myself, and I guess I'll let my family have some as well. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can find the recipe online, and we've got plenty of time over the next month or so to tell you more about Mardi Gras at Greer's. Always a fun, festive time of year. Lucy, thank you so much.
Thank you.